Good morning, everyone. My name is Veritas, and welcome back to Destiny. Now, today is Friday, Xur Day. That means that an exotic merchant, Xur, is in the tower somewhere hiding. I assume he's over here by the Vanguard, since a line of Guardians idle are standing over here. I'll stand on the mat, Xur. Don't you worry. I'll be the one standing on the mat. You just do your thing. So let's see what his stock is mysteriously this week. Oh, it's so bad, actually. All right. Let's get into this and let's have some fun with this stock that he has brought us and offered us this week. Go ahead and open the tab and see what the rolls on these things are. So first things first, we have a legacy engram. This will turn into a pre-taken king, I believe, boot engram, which I don't actually think exists. That might be like Bones of Ao or something like that. Not entirely sure what this turns into. Always confused with the legacy engram, boot engram. It's always strange. Anyway, moving over to the glass house, this is a perfect roll, almost. I'm going to actually go ahead and buy that, because it's a really, really good roll in that glass house. Alright, so the glass house is a Titan exotic helmet. Intellect discipline on this one. This one will always have intellect because it is a super-based helmet. Blessing of Light and Weapons of Light last longer when you have this equipped for you and everyone else on your fire team. It basically modifies the bubble on your Defender Titan itself. What this does is it changes the duration of when you go into the bubble and you get Blessing or Weapons and you leave the bubble. It lasts for 10 seconds. With this helmet on, it lasts for 15 seconds. I believe it adds 5 seconds to whatever the timer is. This one's Intellect Discipline. Like I said, Ashes to Assets for grenades, Heavy Lifting for heavy weapons, pretty good. Invigoration for melee energy on orb pickup, pretty good there too as well. That actually works for every single aspect of the Titan, which is really nice. And it's one off perfect roll. 65 is a perfect Titan helmet, or a perfect helmet in general. So this is technically a 99% helmet. I'd pick it up. I'd recommend it endlessly. It looks really cool with shaders. It's a pretty nice helmet all around, and I recommend this one. I just do. I get it if you're a Defender Titan and you run PvE content. Moving into the Hunter exotic this week, Shinobu's Vow. This received a nerf recently, but it's still a very strong contender for PvP. PvP specifically, because it is for skip grenades and things like that. The stat roll on this is about 88%, so not entirely great. There's better things out there for you. I think the one from the kiosk might even be better than this, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. Shinobu's Vow, it's probably one of the more interesting looking exotics because it's very mechanical. It looks like a space suit almost. It's very interesting looking. This one's got Intellect and Discipline. It's rolling Discipline straight here. New tricks, improve skip grenade, and you gain additional skip grenade charge. So the tracking on the skip grenade is much more intense, and you also get 2 skip grenades as opposed to just 1. You get fastball and momentum transfer as well as hand cannon loader and shotgun loader. This would have been. This is actually a really good roll in terms of PvP for hand cannon loader specifically, because hand cannons are pretty good right now in PvP. So if you want to be that guy, go ahead and pick this up. Like I said, stat roll isn't the best. You can risk re-rolling it, but you'll lose the reload speeds and things like that, possibly. Moving into the Warlock exotic this week, we have the Ram, Praise Me. This is a pretty nice helmet for both PvE and PvP. I recommend it if it's a decent roll. This one looks like it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. This is a 96%. So it's essentially perfect. The intellect on this one's actually perfect. I believe the intellect is actually perfect. 65, yep, 65, 61. So essentially a perfect helmet. Closest you can get to best without, wasting a bunch of currencies. Strength of the Ram, increase armor. All Voidwalker melees trigger lifesteal on hit. Pretty good there. Pretty good. PvP, that's actually, life-saving. And for PvE, the increased armor and Voidwalker melee things will save you in things like a raid, or just strikes if you're running through strikes like that. It's really good for Void Burn and things like that. It's extra armor and your melees trigger lifesteal and they do more damage in Void Burn, so good helmet there. Intellect and strength increase is there. It'll always have intellect, I believe, or will always have strength because it's a melee-based thing. I believe it'll always have strength because it's melee-based. Inverse Shadow, Second Thoughts, and Infusion are your perks on that if you so choose to buy it from Xur this week. And the weapon this week, we have Telesto, a Void Fusion Rifle exotic. This thing is pretty cool. It has the delayed fire. Unplanned Reprieve, Fusion Projectiles Attach and Detonate, and Delayed Void Blast. It's pretty fun. You can kind of just shoot this, stick it to things, and then wait a couple seconds and they'll explode. This also has Battle Runner, so multiple kills will give you a brief boost to the sprint's top speed, as well as Harbinger's Spark. Multi-kills with this weapon spawn orbs for your allies. They're small orbs, so not a lot of charge out of those, but they are pretty helpful for certain things. You also have Queen's Command Ornament and the Lingering Vestige Ornament, both of which are pretty neat, both of which look pretty good on the weapon, so if you happen to have those, go ahead and grab it. If you're going to buy this week for Void Burn, or because you don't have it yet and you want to use it, I recommend staying with Smart Drift Control, Battle Runner, Enhanced Battery or Flared Magwell, depends on how you want to play. I think I use Lightweight on mine just to have the extra agility to my character, and then Harbinger's Spark, obviously. So, good fusion rifle, good for Void Burn, good for things like that. Moving down to Curios this week, we have the Plasma Drive and the Void Drive. I recommend picking these up if you want to get your Age of Triumph record book collection page done for the Sparrow page, the Sparrow node. I believe we have no idea how many Sparrows you're going to need to collect to have the Sparrow node unlocked. It's 75 ships, 100 shaders roughly. For Sparrows, I'm thinking around 35 to 50 because there's, I think, about 80 Sparrows in the game. 80 or 90 Sparrows available in the game, and they're unlocked through Plasma Drives and vehicle upgrades like these. So if you don't know what these do, you can head on over to the Vanguard or Crucible Quartermasters and purchase the blue Sparrows, the rare quality Sparrows from them for 175 legendary marks a piece. Those can then be upgraded with these vehicle upgrades. Plasma Drive and the Void Drive will change them into legendary quality Sparrows with a blue and purple trail respectively. They also upgrade the blue quality Sparrow into a legendary Sparrow, so fun stuff there if you choose to do so, and then those count as new Sparrows for your kiosk. So if you want to do something like buying one of the Sparrows from the Vanguard Quartermaster and then upgrading and then repurchasing 2 more copies from the kiosk, you can then upgrade each of those copies, one with a Plasma Drive, one with a Void Drive, and suddenly you have now 3 Sparrows for your record book if you so choose to spend your coins in such a manner. Moving over to heavy ammo synthesis, we have 3 for 1 or 10 for 3. Always go for 10 for 3. It's a much better deal and you get 1 for free. These can be used to replenish your heavy ammunition while in combat, like raids and strikes. They can also be used to trade into factions. For faction reputation, I would recommend picking these up and then saving them for after Age of Triumph, because when the new Nightfall buff thing is out, you'll have a 25% bonus to reputation gains. Stack that with the exotic class item for factions, and you'll be able to upgrade your faction relatively quickly if you so need to do that. If not, just get the Nightfall buff and then use it. So 25% bonus there with the Nightfall buff coming with Age of Triumph update. So buy these now, use them later, things like that. Moving into 3 of Coins is a stackable effect. It doesn't work the way you think it does. Killing Ultras, which are essentially named yellow health bar enemies, or completing Crucible matches, will burn these will burn this item. You can see I have one on, actually. So next time I complete a Crucible match or kill an Ultra, this will burn my Exotic Particles buff and have a chance to receive an exotic engram upon the death of the Ultra or the completion of the Crucible match. If I don't get one, I will use another one and keep going. If you're going to play some strikes, just use one every time the strike starts after you've killed the boss. If you're going to play Crucible, just use one every time the game starts, and then after when the game ends, it'll burn it, and it just kind of increases slowly as you use them and don't get them. Use one, don't get a thing. Use another one, the percentage increase. I like to say it's 5%. So the first one you use is 5%, don't get it. Next one you use is 10%. Don't use 10 at once. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually trigger the effect for it to work. Glass Needles allow you to upgrade your exotic armors, so if you wanted to get these Shinobu's Vow and you didn't want to deal with the fact that they are a terrible stat roll, go ahead and pick up some Glass Needles, go ahead and pick up your Shinobu's Vow, go in here and go ahead and twist the fate on these. It will change the stat allocations, the perks, and things like that. Exotic armors do have specific stats and perks that they can and cannot have. I believe Shinobu's Vow will always have Discipline because it is a grenade-based exotic piece of armor, and I think it will always have certain perks. There are some perks stuff can't get, like since this one has Hand Cannon Loader, it can't get like Specialist Loader, things like that. So be careful when you're messing around with Glass Needles, as they are very expensive to purchase and very expensive to use. Material Exchange, Motes of Light, worst conversion rate in the game, never use it, I don't recommend it ever. Exotic Shards, I'll show you how to duplicate these real quick, it's very easy because the kiosk is right here. So if you want to duplicate these, go ahead and purchase an Exotic Shard, go over to your weapon kiosk, and buy a Year 2 heavy weapon that is not a sword. I prefer the Truth rocket launcher. It's the easiest thing to use in terms of doing this. Then you can go ahead and equip that Truth rocket launcher. The next step in your quest to duplicate shards is to find a class item that has rocket launcher upgrade rate on it, increase upgrade rate for rocket launchers, or you can use a telemetry from the gunsmith. They're very cheap. I don't have any in this character, which is why I'm not doing it, but burning a heavy ammo telemetry or heavy weapon telemetry does the same thing as having a class item with increased upgrade rate. Go ahead and use 6 motes of light, 3, 4, 5, 6 motes of light. Your rocket launcher should be fully upgraded. I believe Thunderlord is the same amount of motes as well. Now that it's fully upgraded, don't have to click on anything here. It's full of experience. Go ahead and unequip it and dismantle it. And this rocket launcher that was bought with 1 exotic shard and a little bit of glimmer will now turn into 2 exotic shards and a little bit of glimmer back, as well as some modes and weapon parts for you there. So if you want to duplicate shards, get shards on the cheap. That's how you go about doing that. And that's my best advice for people needing shards in this day and age for exotic armors and things along those lines. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I recommend the 2 helmets he's selling, the Glass House and the Ram. The Hunter Gauntlets are a pretty low stat roll, so I don't recommend picking those up. But Glass House is very good. So is the Ram this week. And if you want it, the Telesto as well. Be sure to pick up your Plasma and Void drives to upgrade your Sparrows if you are a collector and you want to upgrade your Sparrows. If you are a collector, you've probably already done that, and you've probably already done those things. But I'll show you what it looks like here. Go to the Crucible or Vanguard Quartermaster and go ahead and pick up a Sparrow. I don't have enough marks to buy them, but say you buy the first one here, you can then, that counts as 1 Sparrow, delete it or upgrade it, and then you can go back to the Sparrow kiosk, take out another one, upgrade it with one of the drives, delete it, take out another one of the blue Sparrows, upgrade it with the other drive, delete it. Now you have 3 Sparrows instead of 1. Things like that, pretty fun there. Collection page will be interesting to see. So that's where he is. That's what he's got. My recommendations are the 2 helmets and the weapon, if you need it. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the weekly reset video. And there may or may not be a video coming out that's more of a discussion video. I did a live stream where I talked about some stuff to do with the Age of Triumph, Bungie live streams and things like that. So that might be coming out sometime this week, unedited, edited. I'm not entirely sure, but good stuff there if it does come out. If it doesn't, oh well. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I very much appreciate it. And as always, until next time.